The Reformation was a reaction against Nomianism. Basically, yeah, we recognize that Jesus died on the cross. We recognize that you're saved by the grace given in baptism and the sacraments. But you have to continue working with this grace if you actually want it to stick. And you have to make progress. And to the extent that you fail to make progress, you have to pay for it in purgatory. And purgatory then gets talked up so that it's basically just a temporary sentence in hell. If you get to go to hell as a scared straight program instead of as a life sentence. And so people cannot just, under that form of teaching, people cannot just rest in the death of Christ for them. People cannot just rest in the fact that they are baptized into Christ. They can't just trust Jesus to save them because they've always got to be like, oh yeah, okay, after my 1,000 years of torment in purgatory. And so the Reformation was a reaction, a very strong reaction against that. And then there is just naturally an overreaction against it, and that's Anti-Nomianism, because the law of God isn't the problem. The law of God is good and wise. And Paul makes this point at the beginning of Romans 7. If there was a law that could have saved us, this would have been it. The reason this law can't save us isn't that there's a problem with the law. It's that we're sinners. It's that we disobey it. No prescription is so good, and no medicine is so powerful that if you just leave it on the bedside table and never take it, it's going to heal you. And that's the problem with sinners. Sinners just say no thanks, and they don't. And so the law is good, but in the time of the Reformation, you had Agricola teaching that the law should not even be preached to Christians anymore, because it is that far in the past. The only thing relevant to you and your relationship to God anymore is the fact that Jesus died for you. And so focus on the death of Jesus for you, and the gratitude that people feel for this forgiveness will motivate good living. And you don't need to preach the law at all anymore, and you shouldn't, because if you do, people are going to get wrong ideas. They're going to drift back into that Nomianism that this whole Reformation is supposed to counter. And there are forms of that form of Antinomianism was rejected in the Formula of Concord, and there's a whole article on the third use of the law, establishing that it is legitimately a thing in Lutheran theology, that the law should still be preached to Christians.